How to score high in essay paper? I want you to understand the trend and similarities and differences across mains exam. This is how I would classify GS 1, 2, 3. GS 1, 2, 3 is one type of testing. Huge information. GS 1, 2, 3. Next comes GS 4, also called ethics. Here, some information. We discussed 15% info, 85% application. Difference between GS 1, 2, 3 and GS 4 is less information and more application. And here, what is meant by application? Drawing from various sources. And also, as there is more application, there is a scope for expressing yourself. In GS4, actually, theory selection is yours because there is no rigid theory. Examples are yours. Diagrams are yours. You are supposed to express your values. Yours. What are these values? These values we discussed are as expressed in the preamble. Preamble is the source of our values for IAS aspirants. It means from GS 1, 2, 3 to GS 4, you move towards your understanding and expression of certain values. That is what GS 1, 2, 3 to GS 4. And now, I would say similar thing takes place from GS 4 to essay. And from essay to interview test. Essay is it is of a different pattern. They give 4 questions, out of which you choose one in one section and another 4, 1. So in a 3-hour examination, you are expected to write only 2 questions. Whereas in GS4, 13 into 10 plus 6 into 20, 19 questions. So why this? There is one more thing. At one time, there used to be only one essay to be written in a 3-hour exam. But now, there are 2 essays. This section, there is a difference between section A and section B. In section A, it is likely to be reflective type of essays. Philosophical, life-oriented, reflective. Whereas in section B, somewhat GS-oriented. So introducing reflective type and asking 2 questions in 3 hours. And at one time, it used to be only 1 question. So all these things mean that UPSC wants to test something which is not tested in other papers, GS 1, 2, 3 or even 4. So what they think, or what appears to be, is that it is knowledge or info, let us call it knowledge, info less, understanding, values and yourself is more. Values yourself is more. So I would say as the trend, GS 1, 2, 3 to GS 4 to essay to interview, you are growing yours. That's how I would put it. It is more of you. Finally, it is you. So it is at this level you have to understand. More of you. Finally, it is you. And here you means to what extent your outlook is aligned with constitutional values. So, what is essay for? Essay is for expression of yourself. How do you express yourself? You are not going to talk about yourself directly. You express yourself through the expression of your vision. Your vision is about what? It can be about India. It can be about world. It can be about life itself. Essay should be taken as closest thing to the examination, closest thing in the examination to the full expression of yourself. This has been my understanding. And when I followed toppers' videos, their approach also is same. I haven't found any difference. Our own student Raghavendra got 117 in 1 year, 2015, and 160 in 2016. We posted explanation of his method. You can read. So this seems to be an expression of yourself. So how you use the topic or how you choose those topics finally to communicate yourself. It is about yourself. But yourself through your vision. So which means you are taking a question as an opportunity to convey a deeper self of yours. My approach to the interview also is similar. I found there is a lot of similarity between essay approach and interview approach. In both, they ask certain questions, but you use the question to tell about yourself. Yourself is not so personal, but your vision expressed through certain values. Finally, you convey to the examiner, this is me. I want you to know this is the nature of essay and accordingly plan. What do I mean by expressing yourself? What kind of expression gets marks here? That is, what is it that they want you to be? I would say there are two components. One, informed, and two, values. They think that you will make a good civil servant when you are an informed person. But this is not enough. You also have values. So what does this mean? That you should choose a topic in which you express this plus this. It is not enough if you say that you have values and you would like to help people. You have that service orientation or whatever. Because you should also be an informed person. So that is why topic selection matters a lot in essay paper. There are 8 questions, out of which you have to choose 2. 1 out of every 4. Which will you choose? I would say you choose a topic in which you have first knowledge. How does this knowledge come about? Your background, graduation or post-graduation, books that you study, or hobbies, job, or optional subjects. The topic is background specific. That is why essay becomes more personal. The topic selection itself is related to you. And you choose a topic which is close to your background, in which you have thought a lot. In this context, I want to say that being knowledgeable is not the same thing as being excited about writing. When you are learning something new, you are excited about that topic. But that excitement should not influence you to choose the topic. Because what matters is that not just your interest, but how you are compared to others. More important. So I would say very careful about the topic selection and choose a topic in which you have a lot of knowledge, thought about it, experience, something that you can say with some authenticity, because you are going to talk about yourself through that. Okay, so that's about it. And next, how you convey values. Finally, these constitutional values. There is a continuity here. This is another continuity. GS 1, 2, 3 to GS 4 to essay is about value communication. In GS 4 you convey values, but not taking so much time, because you have to answer so many questions. Here it is focused. What is meant by conveying values? There is core topic. For example, some Land Acquisition Act. If you are writing an essay from section B, section B conveys GS related issues. So land acquisition. Suppose there is a land acquisition. There is a core economic, but stretch this to political, social, and then stretch this to values. What kind of vision that India shared? Socialism, equality, opportunities for all. So given those values, what kind of land acquisition law we should have? In GS 1, 2, 3, these are provisions of land acquisition. But in essay, it is about how constitutional values are supposed to be realized or not realized through this particular law. And why is it so? What is your take on it? Your take on it. So it means you take GS core and stretch to political, economic, social, and finally to yourself. That makes a good essay. So you take essay as an expression of informed self, expression of an aspect or a higher aspect of you, which reveals to the examiner that you make a good civil servant. Very, very close to what you are supposed to do in the interview. Okay. So how do you prepare given these topics you have to write? Go by the previous questions and identify, I think you can at least around 20 topics, economic, political, social. Remember, these are major topics, very important major topics: nationalism, economic development, foreign policy, kind of technology, much major, more permanent. And then, so that you get from previous papers. And I would say for this year, previous papers plus COVID, I think you can prepare in terms of how things changed because of COVID, be it economic, political, science and technology, social. So select them, prepare answers and see how you are expressed through those topics. Okay. Are there presentation differences between essay and other questions? Writing differences. Are there presentation differences between essay and other papers? My answer is that yes. The reason being, 2 questions for 3 hours. You have more time, a lot of time. You can spend 15 to 20 minutes for outline. Outline includes working out introduction, main body, subpoints. Like this, outline can look like a tree. Main points, subpoints, conclusion. You can spend 15 to 20 minutes on outline. And remaining, so 1 hour and 15 minutes to write the exam. So complete one essay in 1 hour and 30 minutes or even 1 hour and 40 minutes. Not more than that, because you have to do 2 essays. And because you have so much time, writing in paras makes sense. Paras rather than points. Paras. This is not to say you should not write in points. You can write in points at certain places. These are the steps that can be taken. Steps that can be taken is a linking sentence and points. Points with full sentences. Essentially, essay is about explaining things. Test of communication, flow. Not simply saying, look, I do know. Okay. So, para versus points, it depends upon the time you have, information you have, and the flow that is needed for good answer. So when there is so much to write, so little time and more factual, points are better. But when there is more flow is needed, more time is there, more of self-expression, paras make a better sense. So essay on the whole tilts the balance towards the paras rather than the points. Though points cannot be eliminated. That's my point. Next. Para versus points is an old debate. Civils aspirants have been debating this for many years. I would like to say para versus points now has to be determined by one more variable which came recently, diagrams. Usual argument in favor of para is that if logical flow is required, then paras make better sense and not points. The new thing that is coming from diagrams is that diagrams also can convey logical flow. Flow charts, graphs, pie diagrams, all kinds of things. Diagrams can convey logical flow. So, don't equate para versus points debate with whether you should use diagrams or not. I want you to use diagrams. So, my summary is that paras much more than points, diagrams is very important, and subheading is there because subheadlines will give the overall picture of the essay without the examiner having to go through all your points. Underline. Underlining, subheadlines, diagram, very important. And because you have time, introduction can be of a different form. Introduction can be an event, anecdote, story. See, my idea of introduction is introduction gives the sense of the answer. Some people take introduction to be the beginning of the answer. No. I suggest the beginning come after the introduction. The introduction is about convey the essence of your answer. Convey the essence of that I have understood the answer. That is the introduction. And next start the story from the second para onwards. And in essay, variety of introductions are possible. And one more thing is that essay can touch some kind of a fictional form. Fictional form is of a different kind of writing. You raise curiosity. You don't give all the information at one place. You build up the story. You shock people. A good essay to me is like a good movie. So how you design parts, how the parts are interlinked, which part is deliberately kept till the end. So good essay has so many elements. It is not about how you simply dump the information. Okay, there is a lot of fiction style writing in essay. So you practice, and enough practice will make you good at this. And practice doesn't mean you have to write essay every time. You can divide essay into 300 word questions, and you practice 300 word questions, and one day you will be in a position to write an essay, because after all essay is 1000 plus words, 1000 to 1200. So practice short notes, and one day it will lead to this. So these are my tips for good essay preparation. Thank you.